Hello and welcome to this Black Talk Radio News commentary. My name is Scotty Reed. On this episode, we will be taking a look at the music industry and these two teenage boys. Well, they're not even teenagers, they're preteens, so I misspoke there. And so they're around 11, 12 years old. And one of my Facebook friends, a person who I've interviewed in the past, Mr. Paul Porter, shared this video, and I'm going to share what he had to say about the video as well as share the video with you. But for those that's watching this video, you can see the image of the two boys, and you can tell that they're very young. And you can also see that one of them smoking a blunt, looks like, and it's just very, very sad that the adults in these children's lives are exploiting them. Okay. And just the whole corrupt nature of the music industry, as Paul Porter talked about, and not just the erasure of black identity, but redefining what a black identity is and making it all about violence and drug dealing and misogyny and just all kind of antisocial behavior. It can be found in the rap music that is promoted and supported by the music industry, whether we're talking about the corporate brands or whether we're talking about the radio stations that put this garbage in rotation 24/7. But before I get to the video, let's take a look at a little bit more about Paul Porter for those who've never heard of Paul Porter. So Paul Porter is a black man who started in the music business, I would say, back in the 1970s. In college, he talks about, being on the college radio station. And so he spent, I think, also with BET for a while. Don't quote me on any of this, but, you could look up his bio. I had the opportunity to interview him several times, especially as it relates a couple of times to his book, Blackout, My 40 Years in the Music Business, which the intro to that book talks about. Blackout is an explosive look at the corruption that is running rampant in the industry, talking about the music industry. And Blackout is an inside account of how corporations erase black identity from black radio and mainstream black music, and why I chose to fight back. So, that's who Paul Porter is, a music insider. A day or two ago, I was perusing my Facebook news feed, and I come across this post by Paul, and it's a 45-second video clip, and these young men, as you can see, without even starting the video, image of these two young boys, not young men, but young boys, smoking blunts and engaging in other shenanigans. But anyway, this is what Paul Porter had to say about the clip that caught my eye. This preteen Baltimore duo is the client of Wendy Day, an old industry friend. Whoever is promoting, financing, or connected with this has a relationship with Satan. Damn shame. Again, these are preteen boys. These aren't young men. These aren't even teenagers. These are young boys. And this is what you have these young boys doing. You're exploiting these young boys. So more on this later. But let's watch the video. I mean, that's just really, really terrible. So as you can see in that short clip, them holding up drugs, looks like bags of weed, all this money, got on expensive watches, and they're smoking weed. Again, these are preteens, all right? This isn't your crisscross hip-hop rap duo, young black boys just making music to have some fun. This is some hardcore drug pushing crap, man. And I just don't see how this is even legal. I don't see how this is legal. They're using drugs. They hold in a whole bunch of drugs, whole bunch of money. I mean, come on. This isn't proper for children. Okay? So any label that has signed these children, they should get canceled right now. They should get canceled. Now, earlier, Paul Porter said that he had this industry friend that they are a client of, they're clients of this woman, Wendy Day. So y'all know I had to look up, who is Wendy Day? Who is this Wendy Day person, y'all? This is Wendy Day. Wendy Day is a mentor and consultant for hip-hop artists. In 1992, she founded the Rap Coalition, a not-for-profit organization helping artists navigate the industry more advantageously. She also founded the consulting firm Power Moves, advising artists and labels on independent options. So, again, here's a white woman. There are a lot of white people in control of the rap industry. Now, I'm not trying to say, she in control of all the labels and what have you, but she seems to have no problem with the content that these two preteen boys, I'm about to call them teenagers, using drugs. I don't know what her advice to them is behind the scene and if anybody's listening to it, but what I really want to know is, where are these children's parents? And so the industry is so predatory. You listen to a lot of these rappers that so-called make it to the top of the charts and what have you. They have a lot of industry support behind them. And a lot of them come from very, very impoverished conditions, dirt poor, often in communities where there's not a whole lot of opportunities and a lot of broken homes due to a number of societal factors. And so, but still though, come on. Where are the adults in the room in this case? This is criminal, man, and people could go to jail, in my opinion, for contributing to the delinquency of these children. Who gave them those drugs? Are they in fact drug dealers? Because they could be. All right. I have spent some time in them streets when I was a preteen. For those who've known me a long time, you've heard me talk about growing up in Detroit, not born in Detroit, but, moved up there from North Carolina when I was 2 years old, living in Detroit, up until I was 13 years old. And during that time in Detroit, around the ages of 12, I would say 11, 12, and 13, I was being targeted by gang members to be a part of the gang. Some people may have heard of White Boy Rick. I think they made a movie about him. But the criminal organization he was a part of was called Young Boys Incorporated. I was one of those young boys. I was one of those young boys that adults, and older teenagers were exploiting to sell drugs. How is this any different? How is this any different? Adults exploiting these two young boys to make money off of them, pushing self-destructive behaviors. Again, this is nothing new to Black Talk Radio News. I've talked before, done many shows over the years with Kwabena Rasuli of Clear the Airways Project, and I asked him what he thought about, what was going on.
It's just dangerous. It is what has become too much of what our youth think is cool to do. It's what's been programmed to them. This is purposeful. The things that they're saying, how they're acting, is what they hear on the radio, is what they hear in their headphones constantly. It's promoted, it's pushed in Popeyes commercials, it's pushed in other sorts of media commercials, where mostly what we hear are artists, or so-called artists, who push negative ideas, negative things that are destructive to our people. It's like what Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said about rap music, how rap music has annihilated the self-respect of Black people.
And there it is. I couldn't agree with what Kwabena had to say more. But I tell you, man, we got to do something, man. We really got to do something about this rap industry. If anything needs to be canceled in this culture, definitely this corporate Rap music definitely needs to be canceled because it's contributing nothing positive to society, and I'm just quite sick of it, to be honest with you. All right, so that brings us to a close. Please continue to support the production of independent black media. You can make a donation to the not-for-profit Black Talk Media Project by just going to blacktalkradionetwork.com. Peace and blessings to all.